Making and living on €1,000 a month seems impossible, right? You're used to making thousands of dollars a month to live. Or maybe you've never had a real salary, but it seems like you need a lot more. Here's how I made living and working for 2 years as an Auxiliar de Conversacion in Spain, making €1,000 a month work for me. So if you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking about being an Aux in Spain, right? You applied for the NALCAP teaching program or whatever equivalent, and you're looking at the salary and you're probably thinking, how could you possibly live on €1,000 a month, especially now with the cost of living crisis? How is that possible? You know, rents are usually €1,000 a month. Well, here's how you can make that work for you. First of all, let's just see if it's possible by outlining a possible budget, right? So let's say you were assigned to Valencia and you're making €1,000 a month, right? That is typical for the Valencia region as an Aux in NALCAP. You're working 16 hours a week. How can you make that money work, right? So €1,000 a month. Rents in Valencia City typically range anywhere from 300 to 450 euros a month for a room in a shared apartment, right? You're not going to be renting your own apartment. You're not getting a studio. It's not going to be a beautiful one bedroom, but you can find something, let's say, for around 350 euros a month with an extra 50 for gastos or bills, basically. Okay, so that's 400 a month. And then to eat on that budget, let's say you're keeping it, you know, to a minimum. You're not eating a bunch of meat, you're buying frozen vegetables, yada, yada. So you're spending 40 euros a week or 160 euros a month, okay? And then you spend another $50 a month on transport. That can be with buses, the occasional taxi, very, very occasional. Okay, 50 euros a month should be good. Then you spend another 50 euros a week on eating out and drinking out. You know, you're in Spain, you want to live your life, 50 euros a week. It doesn't sound like that much, but eating and drinking out in Spain is a lot cheaper than in the US or Canada or the UK, okay? And after all of that, you have 190 euros left for random things, you know, buying clothing occasionally, for a very occasional trip, for, you know, shopping, subscriptions, for your Netflix, for your Spotify, and for emergency savings. Okay, so clearly it is possible, right? That was €1,000 a month and we just budgeted it. Now, are you going to be living like a baller, you know, going out whenever you want, you know, putting the tab on you? No, definitely not, but it's doable, as you can see. There is a better way to do it. So as I mentioned, this is a part-time job and a part-time salary. So what are you going to do with the rest of your time? You have plenty of extra time to make money on the side. And let's go through the options of how you can make money as an Aux so that you can support your travels, right? Because you moved to Spain, you want to be traveling. The budget I just outlined for you doesn't really account for a lot of travel, right? That extra 190 euros a month isn't going to get you a trip to Ibiza every month, okay? So let's go over how you can make money. The number one option that most Auxes go with, because it's fast, it's easy, and it's consistent a lot of the time, is tutoring, okay? So you land in Spain, you head to your school. First thing you ask your teacher that you're working with is, I need to make extra money on the side. I'm hoping to tutor. Would you recommend me to children's parents who are looking to improve their kids' English skills? Do that. Make a poster, put it around the school so that teachers and parents see it, offering your tutoring services for just the kids at your school, right? Just with that, you might be able to get a few clients or students, right? That'll help you make an extra, you know, 100 euros a week, let's say. A lot of people charge between 10 or 20 euros an hour, depending on how many kids and the region and the area you're in for tutoring. So let's say you get, you know, 4 students a week and you're charging 15 euros an hour. Okay, that's an extra 60 euros a week, which adds up. That's pretty good, right? Okay. Another option after just posting around your school, if you need to get even more students than that, is posting on Facebook pages. People will post on Facebook pages, especially local, saying, I'm looking for an English tutor for my kids. You can reach out on Facebook groups. You can put your posters in your neighborhood saying, you know, I'm an American or I'm a Brit that moved to Spain and I'm looking to teach kids. You want to make sure that it's translated in Spanish and English, right? And maybe put a photo of yourself. I don't know. It depends how comfortable you are with that. But put your email or your phone number or something that people can reach out to you on. So put yourself online, at school, out in person. Just ask around, you know? If you meet people, your landlord, really ask anyone that seems even slightly interested. get that for tutoring. Okay, the second thing you can do is kind of other odd jobs in your area, like babysitting. A lot of people will give babysitting and you can charge extra because you're an English speaker. So some people, they want their kids to be like really fluent, okay? They want their kids from baby to be speaking English. I know my friend Anna was living in San Sebastian and she met a woman who she literally paid her to come over to their apartment 2 hours twice a week, so 4 hours a week. And I think she made like 20 euros an hour just to speak to the baby. She called it baby talk. The mom was like, I just want a baby talker. And the mom wasn't even gone. The mom was like working in her office and my friend would just talk at the baby. So the baby would gain, you know, fluency in English since they were babies. So there's a bunch of ways to make money. You could walk dogs, you can, you know, there's ways to like make money under the table in Spain. Okay, so that's kind of one main category, is tutoring, babysitting, odd jobs. The next category and what I did was working online. So because I had all this extra time on my hand and I had all of these skills that weren't put to use as an English teaching assistant, I was like, okay, how can I do this, use these skills, gain more skills, and make money? I had previously done an internship with this woman and she had asked me back to do basically virtual assistant type work, right? So I was working a tiny bit, maybe like 2 to 3 hours a week as a virtual assistant. And that was helpful. And I was learning things and I was gaining things. And then I had, my mom actually has a podcast and she's like, oh, Lily, can you edit my podcast for me? And I'm like, okay, I'll do that, you know, for free. It's my mom. And then I realized after doing that for a couple of weeks, I was like, you know, I could put these two things together and I could kind of be like what I call a podcast manager for people. Edit their podcast, do all of the like administrative work around it, and just help them all out and do it all virtually from anywhere in the world. So that's what I decided to become. I decided to become a podcast manager online, right? And that seems super specific, and it is, but it's an example of you can pick something that you want to gain a skill in and perform online virtually for people and get paid in Spain. So let's say you're an artist and you know graphic design, right? You studied graphic design in college. Why not be a graphic designer for people virtually, right? So you can start doing anything as a side hustle online while you're living in Spain because you have all this extra time, right? You're not working full time. So what I did is I would work from 9 to 1 at school as an Aux. I would go home, I'd eat lunch, and then around 3, after chilling for a little bit, I'd hop on my laptop and I'd do like 2 hours of work. And by 5, I was still done for the day. Then I would go and exercise or meet friends, whatever it was. And it was a really sustainable way to make money and not only make like enough money to live, but over time my income just kept growing and I was making way more than people were making tutoring because in Spain, as you'll learn, the wages just are not that high. That's why you can live on 1,000 euros a month because that is not it's a pretty typical wage. So yeah, you can live on 1,000 euros a month, but think bigger. You can do a lot of things on the side and you can do what I did and make this side hustle into something that makes you money online and you can carry with you anywhere. So I did it as an Aux in Spain and then I moved to Australia and I continued to do it. And now I'm moving to London and I'm going to continue to do it to make part-time income on the side, right? It doesn't take up all of my time. I do it probably, I don't know, 10 hours a week, 10, 15 hours a week. It depends how many clients I have at the time, but it's very doable. The only thing you need to know is that it's not going to be immediate. So this is where we talk about savings, right? A lot of people that do the Aux program go there, don't do any extra work on the side, and are still traveling a lot. And it's because they just bring a lot of savings with them, okay? It's not possible for everyone to have a lot of savings, but what I recommend is that you have basically between $5,000 to $10,000 on you when you move to Spain to be an Aux. This will give you an extra 500 to 1,000 euros a month to support yourself living and to travel, right? So if you don't really want to do an extra thing on the side and you only want to be an Aux for 1 year, if you come with 10,000 euros, you should be fine to have like a good fun year, travel a lot. You'll have to budget a little bit, but nothing crazy. It's definitely doable and you won't have to worry about, you know, doing a bunch of tutoring or starting this weird side hustle that you're not interested in doing, right? So between $5,000 to $10,000 extra a year is possible. I think when I moved to Spain, so my side hustle didn't really get going till towards like the end of my first year. And I brought 10,000 euros with me, and I basically spent that in the first year because I was traveling a lot because that's what I wanted to do. But then the second year, thankfully I had this extra income, and that really supported my travels the second year because I didn't have all of those savings anymore. Obviously we went over how you can make and live on 1,000 euros a month, but let's be real, you don't want to just live on 1,000 euros a month when you're living in Spain, right? You want to be seeing Spain, you want to go to France on the weekend, you want to go to Sweden one week, you want to do a spring break, a Semana Santa in Ibiza, you know? So let's figure out how you can make money. Like, you can do it. You can either be a tutor, a babysitter, whatever under the table, or you can work online. Those are the basics of it. Just to cover like how much traveling really costs in Spain and in Europe, I would say that each weekend trip, so like from Thursday to Sunday trip you do, will cost between 150 to 500 euros. Completely variable, depends how much the plane ticket, the train ticket, the bus ticket is, if you're staying in a hostel, if you're staying with friends, splitting a hotel or an Airbnb, what activities you're doing, what country. Like if you're going to Sweden, it's gonna be closer to, you know, 500 euros. If you're staying in Spain, you could do a trip to Benidorm like I did. I did a trip to Benidorm and I think I spent 150 euros for 2 nights. So it's definitely possible, right? And if you do that, you know, twice a month, once a month, you'll be good. You'll be able to live up your life, but not, you know, be going broke, basically. So living in Spain on 1,000 euros a month, it may not be easy. It may not be what you want to do, but it is possible. And as I said, there's ways to make money. And I think that if you do go in knowing that you have some savings and that you have this goal to make extra money so you can really live it up on the side, then you'll have a better time in Spain. Like when I recommend people move to Spain, I tell them you should either have savings or you should have a side hustle of tutoring or working online. That's just, you know, how it is. If you enjoyed this video, I have another video about being an Aux in Spain and the realities of it, so check that video out. And please like and subscribe to this channel and share with any of your other friends who want to be Auxes. Thank you, adios.